Hello, welcome to Puff Drink Talk Podcast. I'm Hilton.
Dylan.
Aidan.
Danny.
How are y'all doing today?
A little bit different format today. No George, no Conrad. Got a couple guests.
Yeah, we're gonna say
Off the
good
spot.
morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Yeah, wherever you're watching from. No real topic today. A little bit of a free-form podcast. We're just going to talk about things that pop up, I think.
We're not gonna be doing review because
Multiple
everybody's
different cigars.
smoking a different cigar.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I like mine. Yeah,
we're
mine's pretty
all,
good.
This is really solid.
It's a little like bitter to the taste, but yeah, it's pretty good.
That's
Try this
probably
guy.
because you're a little bit dehydrated. Because
From the alcohol.
this one is not supposed to be bitter, and I'm finding a tad, is smoky. Not smoky, woodsy.
This
That-
is a beefy stick.
That is woody for sure.
Absolutely. And
That's beautiful. Yeah.
I prefer really bold, woodsy Maduro,
Yeah.
like bold flavors. That should be somewhat similar in terms
It's
of
similar,
it has a
yeah.
Maduro wrapper.
Man, this one's bitter. I like it. I like bitter. Okay, so the guy with the cigar, I'm sorry, you've told me his name before. What was his name?
Dan Dowdy.
Dan Dowdy. Dude, his cigars are phenomenal.
Yeah,
Whenever
so
I was here last time, man, I was puffing on those things. I bought like three
You bought
extra
some?
ones. Yeah,
Hell
dude.
yeah, dude.
I was just buying them, man. I was
Good.
like, "How much are these a pop?" He's like, "They're like $10 pop." I was like,
yeah. They're actually more. He
Keep 'em
sells them
going.
at a discount for our event. I
It's,
think he normally sells those for
it's
15 a stick.
15. It's 15, but on our event it's 10.
"Yeah." So if you ever have an event, you got to get his services, cause
Which is
Phenomenal.
We only started this because I said I'm only starting if you are here every single month, and so like, okay, got a commitment. So
Oak
Yeah.
and Ash. Shout
Yeah.
out.
Okanash, shout out
Oak and
Okanash.
Ash,
Does he do
shout
does he
out
do
for
weddings?
sure.
Would he do like your wedding?
Yeah,
Like, cause
He probably would. I'm going to have a cigar bar with my own curated cigars and my own custom bands and stuff
Oh,
that I already
shit.
did. But yeah, I bet he would. I can't afford it.
no, yeah, dude, that guy's cigars pretty good. I don't know where he gets them from, but
yeah, they're really nice.
Yeah, like he's got a
Yeah.
nice variety of things too, like different
Mhm.
sizes. Some are flavored. You got Connecticut's, you've got Maduros,
Yeah, whiskey,
Toros,
Barber
Robusto,
Poles,
whiskey.
I think
You've
he's got everything.
the
bourbon,
little
like
piggy.
all kinds of crap.
Shit, he's got funny names like Big Booty Judy.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
Well, isn't that supposed to be I can't
Sugar
remember.
Tits is one as well.
Yeah.
He says like there's like a rendition of another one. Is like Big Booty Judy. There's another cigar. It's like I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, he said it was a rendition of that one, but it's really good.
Yeah, they were. It's
There's
surprising
another
me.
beer here. It's the one
He
that.
said that was the
Just be careful to open.
yeah, that was the car beer.
I
It's
think
that
it'd be
one,
alright.
but it should be okay now.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it'd be
by
alright.
now.
It's probably sizzled down now. Yeah. So what's going on, guys? What's going on?
Shit, dude, I've just been popping a lot of Tylenols lately. What y'all been up to?
Popping a lot of Tylenol.
Been on the Tylenol grind.
Shit, man.
Man, me and Danny have been busy with the networking, man. Really
That's good.
getting
There's-
involved in the networking with Plenox Solutions.
So what are you thinking about it? You like it?
Dude, yeah, networking. I've learned a lot from like people like Hilton, from Charles, both Charles. People within the NIA. I met Michelle Black from the BNI.
Yeah.
She was super helpful, and it kind of gave us some direction in regards to like really fine tuning our vision, what we want, who we want to talk to, and being intentional about it. And I think right now we're in the process of building our A team. Shout out Batia Porter and all of them.
Yeah.
We love Batu.
Yeah, Mary Beth, so what we're trying to do is coordinate like I wouldn't say a large
Mary Beth does.
RX pest. She's a
Yes,
pest
yeah.
control. You know her?
Oh yeah, I know her.
Yeah.
She's in Paul's chapter.
Dude,
Leander Lighting.
love her.
Yeah,
Love her,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Dude, I
She's
met
really
her.
good.
I met her yesterday, and I mean, me and her had like an hour and a half.
She's a
conversation.
subscriber to this podcast.
She is, yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Hey.
Me and her had a really good conversation about like.
We can go to A again.
Hey, shout out.
Hey,
Shout out.
Yeah, but like, yeah, me and her
Shout out
had a
Maddie
good
Beth.
conversation about her kids. Got to know each other a little bit better. She gave me some advice about going about my business. How we're looking about getting some funding from the SBAs and for an SBA, stuff like that. So I mean, she was super helpful, and like I said, we're trying to build that A team. That way we can gather up at events and, help communities out, like HOAs, that Pumpkin Fest and Leander. Yeah, just help people out, man.
There's another one. Have y'all been to Pumpkin Nights?
No.
At all? They might be out in Pflugerville. It's another real big, I don't know how you get in with them or not. It might be too late, but Pumpkin Nights is something they do every single year, and it's a huge event with, like, fire throwing artists and like all kinds of shit. But if you find a way to get in there to like sponsor, it's marketing. It's like anything else. It's just getting your name in front of people.
I bet that is expensive.
That's why I was thinking about that out loud as I was. Yeah, it might not be worth the cost associated, but it's cool. It's something. It's something.
I think the coolest part so far has been that we've gotten to be able to network with the right people. Like, so we've been very fortunate. Like Aidan mentioned the other day that, it's been brought up to me multiple times that it takes, a year, 2 years to be able to build really solid connections and networking.
Absolutely.
But I think we've been really fortunate to just meet with the right people, like you guys.
Yeah.
And
super
it's
fortunate.
Something that I think about a lot of the time, that like, not to discount anyone, but when someone's like, I'm going to start a business and I'm going to start tomorrow and I'm going to make money. It's like, oh, you have no idea the amount of time, energy, effort, money that goes into building up a brand, a business, getting contacts, meeting the right people that even work for you. So it's a long road to being profitable, and then from being profitable to like successful, and then growing from there. Like it's just rungs on a ladder. But meeting the right people helps you skip some rungs on that ladder. You don't have to go through the same growing pains that other people did if you're susceptible, if you can take that advice, And sometimes not all advice will pertain to your business, but there are certain things. It's like being the youngest in a family. Like, you get to watch your older siblings make some mistakes, and you don't have to make the same ones. You can, but you don't have to. So you can see how things change. So for y'all being at your age, growing a business, that's an advantage. You get to see a lot of people around you do things a certain way, and you have plenty of time to pivot when needed and learn what works and fucking grow.
Yeah. And I think that's like a really big factor, like, why we chose like each other to do it. One, we've worked together before, and I think we went in it not necessarily just based off of like the friendship aspect, but both because we have like a goal set in mind. We both kind of align and values, and with the people that we met, he was talking about being very fortunate, and that goes back to the intentional part, right? And everyone that we've talked to, we've always had something like, we'll do everything in our power to provide value to you. Right. It's because like we know like you don't know us, right? Like we have no trust in the game, right? Like none. So let us provide value to you. And I was telling Charles whenever, on Loose Cannons before we started, I was telling him that, at our meeting, I made sure that everyone that I was sitting at the table with, they walked away with an introduction. I introduced them to other people, and I'm trying to make that an intention.
So you're being conscious of those things. It's good.
Yeah.
And before we get too much further along, why don't you guys introduce yourself and your business and what you do, so people get some context of what it is that you do.
Yeah. So I'm Danny, and that's Aidan. We're the owners of Plenox Solutions.
Yep.
We're new roofers in the industry, but we're providing exterior solutions in total. So.
Yeah. So exterior solutions, of what he was talking about, was also like general contracting, as well as remodeling, restoration. Something that we're going big off of is for the first 25 clients, we're adding a year to the workmanship warranty. So instead of a 3-year, we're doing a 4-year workmanship warranty. And then for veterans, if you know anybody who is a veteran, we're doing 5% off if they're referred to by anyone in the network. BNI, NIA, you get an additional 5%, and you get an added year to the workmanship warranty.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is a good deal, and we want to help veterans out. We want to help the community out, and like I said, that's a quick little pitch of ours.
Yeah, we're definitely very fresh. I mean, we just got our all our paperwork filed just recently, so we're good to go.
How does that feel? getting all that
Scary.
paperwork filed.
Yeah, dude, surreal,
Scary.
surreal and scary at the same time.
Surreal, I
man.
think, is one of the best descriptions, right? It's like
Yeah.
you wake up some days and like, how did I get here?
You're like, what am I doing?
But you put the work in to get where you're at, But you wake up, it's that imposter syndrome a little bit. Like,
Dude,
like, I don't belong
yes.
how did
here.
I become
Yeah.
a business owner?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
'Cause y'all are young, In the grand scheme of things, you're
Yeah.
not kids, but
Mm.
you're
We're
early.
very young.
You're young, but that means you've got a lot of fucking time to go make money.
Yeah.
Yeah, make mistakes
And
and
learn-
learn from them. And
You will make mistakes, and
Yeah.
that's okay. That's
as long as
okay.
we're
Yeah.
learning.
Yeah, and I think that something, again, aligning on values was something that from, I guess the best way to put it, recent businesses we've worked with, right? The difference that we want to make is the business community around us. So really hone in on the B2B relationship. That
Yeah.
way we can help the B2C, right? Business to client relationship. And I think that being flexible and the connections that you have, that way the services you can provide to people, connect them with, right? I mean, there's nothing that your client shouldn't be able to be helped with, if that makes sense. Whether that's they want to sell their property, if they have floor issues, right? Paint, exterior, interior remodeling,
So
roofing.
do you have like a minimum price to go out to see somebody, or is it like someone needs a small repair and you'll
We
go do
do
that
all
too?
free inspections and consultations.
Okay.
Yeah, and we do free concession requests too. So like if there's a realtor looking for a professional opinion from a contractor, we do those for free. So we do
Okay.
free reports.
So those are bonuses is why to work with you,
Yeah.
bring you
Yeah.
in. Okay.
Yeah. So we just worked with Eric. What's his last name again?
Rechtenwald.
Yeah, that's a hard name to say, man.
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
great guy.
He is
Definitely a
guy.
great guy. But yeah, he had us just go out and do a not necessarily a concession report, but a contractor report on a property in Lago Vista, and then we did a concession report for a property in Austin for a guy who was looking to purchase a property.
Shout out
there.
Grace Laney.
Yep.
Shout out.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it was really cool stuff. Back to it feeling surreal. Like this, all of it just is so like, I don't know, like imposter syndrome-y. Like
Yeah.
it really feels like how did I get here? How did we get to this point? But now that we're here, it's like we're actually able to make decisions confidently and say like, you know what, I actually can do this for the client. There's no tiptoeing around.
Yeah.
It's like I'm fully in control.
Yeah.
And I can fully say yes, I'm gonna take care of you and meet.
Well, you guys are young, but you've been doing it for a little while now.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not to say you're a
So
novice.
it's not that you're beginners. So
Yeah.
you
You're just
you
young
have a
business
new
owners.
Yeah.
you have a new company, but you've been doing it for a little while. So
Yeah,
I know a lot of people around that age that is a very daunting task, like an idea of running a business at that age, and go, I don't want to do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so it takes someone with discipline to show up to work every day and do it for one, but a drive, the motivation. And I think when you work your own job, everyone says, I want to be a business owner. I don't want to work 9 to 5. I don't want to work. You're going to work more hours probably than the average person. You're going to get calls at random times. But the fulfillment of that and what you're building, I think, far outweighs all of those things.
100%.
And it is a very surreal thing. At that age, I was not in that position at 23, so I would have been like, would I have wanted it? Sure, but I don't know that I was even ready for it at that time. So it's an impressive thing that I think if you buy into the program of networking, making these connections, learning from people around you, you have nowhere but up to go. And just stay grounded in your values where you started and learn as much as you can, and y'all are going to do great.
And I think you hit the nail on the head with that, because you know why? At 18, whenever I left, West Texas, Odessa, Texas, and I went to the Marine Corps and I got my shit kicked in for the first time, that is a eye opener.
Yeah.
Whenever you have a grown ass man and you're a young grown ass man, and
you think
someone
you know everything at 18
yeah,
too,
and someone kicks your shit in, and is like, listen, man, like.
Yeah.
You are nothing and you know nothing.
They're chewing that
right?
ass, man.
Yep, chewing that ass, like we talked about.
That's what it is.
Yeah, and I think that what you're talking about is perfect, and I think that's where our combo comes in, like at the highest level. Is we're always open to like we talked to Gabriel Cepeda Shout out to him if he listens to this podcast. We talked to him, and he was giving us all sorts of business advice, right?
Awesome.
And we're always willing to change our strategy based off of people who have been in the game for a while, such as you, Hilton, or people like Charles, people like Gabriel, people who have been in the game for a while, people who are willing to actually talk to us and give us the real advice of like, hey, if I was in your shoes, this is what I would do different from what I did whenever I was in your position.
The big difference between those two things is like they had to, something happened that made them realize that. So they had to deal with some sort of hardship to realize that's the best way of doing it, which is why I made the analogy of being a younger kid in the family. It's the same thing. Like you can benefit from other people's mistakes without having to make the same mistakes, so long as you're receptive to what that is. And it has to apply to your business. Some things don't apply to every single business,
I agree.
What age do you think that I started my first business?
Trick question.
Okay. Well, how old are you, first off?
I'm 49.
49? Yeah. I'd say 35.
Okay.
Good guess.
Good guess.
Danny?
40?
No.
No?
Dylan?
14.
The closest is Dylan.
Wow.
17?
17.
I was going to say 17. I was like, I thought the answer was 17. He's going to hit me with some shit. Actually, when I was 14, I did this. Yeah, I know when you were 17, you had
I was selling soda pops out of a backpack.
Dude, this guy's a hustler. He's learned business from the
shop,
ground up.
yeah.
He had a tire shop.
Wow.
At 14,
Yep.
I was actually working from my dad in the mill, in the bed frame factory, and I was purchasing materials. So
From the ground up.
I was responsible for calling all the suppliers every week to get updated prices for saws, screws, bolts, nuts, and lumber.
materials you were
Lumber,
buying
no,
in bulk?
because we had our own supply of lumber because we had the mills and stuff.
Just all the other finishing materials.
Just the finishing materials and sandpapers and varnish, for the bed frame factory, because we had about 20 factories,
Honestly,
at the time. So
that's a pretty intriguing job, especially at 14, because you learn a lot of things that there's no other application.
cost
in-
control and a lot of things.
You're not learning that in middle school.
Yeah, the
Supply
shit
chain
I was
management.
doing at 14, no way.
I'm doing like
The shit I was
mid-level,
doing at 14, no way.
basic geometry, like algebra 1. And it's like nothing to do with real life scenarios of
But
this is what I'm selling, and I need to keep bringing things in, and I need to control costs. Okay, I'm buying this amount. If I buy a little bit more, could you break it down? Can I get
And
5
I don't
cents
know.
off a foot or whatever?
I don't know everything in business. When we start a business, we think like, hey, I can sell. Okay. Can you buy? You know what I mean? Oh, because business, you have to sell, but you gotta buy.
Yep.
Can you manage people? Because when a business owner, you have to buy, sell, and manage people.
You gotta hire people.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to work.
Can
with
you
them.
hire people? When a business owner, you gotta know how to hire. Can you fire people?
Yeah.
You know?
That's the harder.
Yeah.
It is like so
That's
much.
That 3-chain thing. Can you hire people? Can you work with and retain these people? And then when it's time, can you fire people? And how do you do all of those 3 things? What type of person are you?
And I think that's where I gathered the most experience, at least from my previous job. I was in operations, so I was in charge of actually hiring and firing people. So
you got those skills.
I got those 2 skills off of that, and then I think again though is
Subcontractors or W2s?
W2s.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's tougher to
that's-
tell someone they don't have a job
Yeah.
anymore.
Subcontractors,
They're the
those guys are their
That's
own
easy.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, hey man,
You're like, hey,
it's
we don't
not
have any
working
future
out.
business with you.
Yeah,
But a
like
W-2 is like, hey, this isn't working out. Yeah, it's a tough conversation to have.
yeah, for sure.
So did you learn any techniques on like how to do that? Like essentially letting someone down easy, or did you find that it's just rip that Band-Aid off? Like what was the best way of going about that?
I think it's totally dependable, right? It's dependent on if
The person?
the situation, and
So you need context.
yeah, and so like for
The
instance,
circumstances on how you gotta go about
So
fire
sales
someone.
are slow. This person has been you really like this person. They've been a great whatever, but sales aren't there and you have to let them go.
yeah.
How do
So
you handle that?
So like sales are slow, things aren't, like what you said.
It's not you,
Now-
it's just the scenario. Yeah.
Yeah, and so let me ask you this: were they successful like in the beginning? Is that why you hired them, or did you just hire them based off of resume experience, and then like throughout their sales just weren't performing at
It wasn't
the
a
minimum level?
reflection, yeah. Well, let's say just the market slows
I was
down.
going to say, either way probably doesn't matter. It's more of like, I could have hired you and you were a rock star. I could have hired you and you're not. We're worried about right now. Like right now,
Yeah.
business is slow and maybe you were the rock star, but I've got some other people that are performing and you're not. And I'm paying you a salary,
Yeah.
and some other people are not getting paid a salary, and you haven't sold anything in a while. So this is a conversation we're about to have.
And I think that's when you have to open up your mind and think, okay,
How can we solve
instead of thinking like I need to fire this guy, how can we solve this? What's the issue? What's the core problem? If they're sitting there and there's an issue of they were like one of the top salesmen of your crew, and then a month later now they're the bottom performer. What's going on? Is there something at home going on?
External
Or
problems.
do
yeah.
they feel like there's a value separation between him and the company, right?
You even bringing that up at all tells me you're thinking bigger picture,
Yeah.
which is a good thing because depending on what you can work with, there's a lot of extra circumstantial things where it's like, obviously this is outside of the norm. If you recognize talent in somebody, maybe it's worth working something out with them. So, that's an interesting point because everything is contextual depending on who they were the whole time they were with you and who they are now.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot easier when you have the context like, no, this person, you didn't expect much from them, they also haven't performed. So now you got to have a conversation with them about letting them go.
Yeah, and I mean, so like for instance, where I have an example, I won't name like the individual, but this individual, he was caught with like drugs on like on like company vehicle, right?
Yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah, it's definitely a problem, right? And so that's whenever you present to them to fire them, right? That's
You're
going to
like,
be
I don't have a
different.
choice.
That's going to be different from letting them down easy. That's going to be more
wanna-
like I'm going to make
I
it
want to
an
move that
eye
mic a little
opener.
bit closer to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it an eye opener for you.
Yeah.
Like in my opinion, I feel like people in that position need an eye opener. Like I don't think you can let those people down easy, is because usually, if they are confident enough to have, paraphernalia in company property, they're confident enough to try to manipulate the situation.
I
Well,
feel
it's-
like
No,
Sorry.
go ahead.
in that context specifically, like that is dependent on the person, right? So like whenever you go to those conversations of like hiring, it's like you have to look at the person and the qualities that they're bringing to the table. And that would be like, do they have good work ethic? Are they professional? What's their attitude like? And how do they present themselves? And then there are very few qualities that you can teach people. And like you
agree.
can't teach someone to have good work ethic and to show up on time and to be responsible. Like those are things that they have to have.
No,
And
I think you can teach that.
I
you
do
can
too.
develop it.
for sure.
Yeah.
And it kind of depends on what you're looking for right now, too. Like, do you have a position I'm allowing growth? Or I need someone right now to be an all-star or whatever it is.
Yeah. There's a difference in there. It's like recognizing a potential and finding the gem, right?
Yeah.
So
But I would just tweak what you said. It's not that you can't. It's just a lot harder.
Yeah.
So if you're going to hire someone for sales, it's a lot harder. Super easy in my business to teach you about floors.
Exactly.
And you need to go out and tell someone about floors. There's only so much information out there about flooring.
Yeah.
And it might take you 6 months, but you're going to learn a lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a much harder time teaching you to be organized, to have good work ethic and want to be here, to be sociable and say the right things at the right time and smile. And can I teach you this? I sure can. But that's going to take 2 years to develop, probably. I mean, just to put a number on it. It might take less, might take more. But those are soft motor skills that someone's developed over time from the way they were raised, the people that they've been around. And now I'm taking you to a new environment, and I need you to act this way. Most of the time, people are capable of doing it. It's just a lot of effort on them to try to become what you want them to be. And people burn out. And then if you're asking people to be something that they're not, it's never really a recipe for working out either. So it's just, I think this might even be a Grant Cardone philosophy to take it all back.
No,
But it's a funny thing that it's one of the few that I agree with. It's like you hire fast and you fire faster when it doesn't work out because you
It's
kind
not
of
his
really.
philosophy, but that's
I just heard
a
somebody say
mojo.
that.
Yeah.
But you have to go through people to understand if it's going to work or if it's not going to work.
Yeah, and I
some
agree
people,
with
it's
that.
like you don't have everything, but there's so much that you have. I don't want to fire you. Like I want to.
Yeah.
You're going to grow as a person, and you're going to grow in this business. And there's some people right away, like you have some of the things, but I can just see like you're never going to grow and be the. So there's just two different problems.
Yeah.
And I think what you were talking about was mainly like dealing within the complexity of the individual within the company's SOPs. I'm talking about an individual that steps outside the boundaries, the lines that the company sets, such as paraphernalia in a vehicle, right? Being an eye opener. And
Turn it on.
and that's what I mean, that like you can't sit there and try to like consult that relationship, right? Whenever it's somebody like that, I feel like the best way to go about it is an eye opener.
Yeah.
And an eye opener is not a let me down easy. That is, hey man, this was the situation. This is how you crossed a boundary. This is how you crossed the boundary, and you need help.
Yeah.
And I will not allow you to work or inflict your aurora on my company.
Toxic
right?
energy is another way.
Toxic
It's like
energy.
it's poison, right? Like
Yeah.
you almost have to cut that out at the source, right, before it starts affecting the other people around you.
So you can't like sit there and try to have an exchange with people like that whenever they cross the boundaries of the SOPs of your company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the thing is, we are all, as we say, the copy of the 5 people that we hang out with the most, right?
Yes.
So when you bring someone from a different environment, as Dylan was saying, and then to bring to your environment, right? And then, so that's what I'm saying, you can teach someone. It's not really teaching, it's just by osmosis,
Adapting.
that is passing
that.
on, right,
like
to
that
you,
term.
because you're leading by example. If
Yeah.
you just say and then you do something else,
Yeah.
they're not gonna capture that, So like, hey, then they're gonna burn out and stuff. But once they see it, they're like, hey, I prefer that than what I'm used to.
Yeah.
So they will start adapting. So that takes, they will take a little bit of time, but all of that, it's possible to achieve. So if the company that is hiring the person to do that has a buffer that can do that, you can have anybody working with you if the culture is right?
Yep. And
To evolve.
Culture is a big part of it.
Yeah.
Where that's the osmosis thing. Is like whether you know it or not, y'all have been creating a culture for what you want your business to be. SOP is a big part. Do y'all have an SOP set up, like procedures for different things, or?
yeah, actually, Danny's gonna be rolling out the first sales SOP of the company like very soon.
Very soon.
So that's a lot of things people don't think about early on. So that's good that y'all are already thinking of that.
I was in the military, man. That's all
So
it
it's
is.
structure.
Yeah.
But structure and organization is what, if you start that as a small business and you scale, you already have it. If you start as a small business without it and you start to scale, now you got to start coming up with all of these things, and it makes life hard. So
and
if
I
you
think
start
what's
off with that,
hard, I think what's hard is you got to make them to where they can always evolve.
like the Constitution, how did
always
they do
evolve.
that back in 1770? Like, you have to have room for people to grow.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have to have room for things to change.
Yep.
While also fitting the culture that you want.
Yeah.
So I would recommend coming up with, and maybe you've already done this, but core values for your company,
Yeah.
and come up with what those are and
Yeah.
what those stand behind, and build off of that. And that's a model to show to people when you hire them. Like, this is our values, what we stand behind, how we treat people. We respect the veteran military community. All of these things. And then responsiveness, organization. Well, it's a bit corporate, but it's to fill people's mind with, like, this is the agenda of what we're going to be. And then working with you every day, obviously it's not cookie cutter. Like,
Is there something on the internet that explains the concept of SOP or core values? Like as a concept itself. Just to put out there for viewers, because
add context.
Yeah.
yes, just because
SOPs are super
So
important.
here
I don't
is
think
the
people realize
U.S. Chamber. What is an SOP, and how can you create one for your business? An SOP is an invaluable document for business processes that are complex. Okay, let's break down to the actual meaning. The acronym stands for Standard Operating Procedures. This can be vague, and it can be,
Like we have a few, right, for us. We have the perfect day. We have our process for sales and
So
stuff.
break down a perfect day. A perfect day is like, this is like our SOP of a perfect day. Like, this is how I wake up in the morning, I take a shower, and I'm getting ready. I get all my stuff, I hop in the truck or come to work. It's kind of putting in a
you go
timeline.
through a car wash to get your truck always clean when you come and visit a customer or something like that. Yeah.
Giving employees a mindset of like presenting yourself in the best way possible every single day.
The way you dress.
that would go into dress attire. Yeah.
The way you dress.
Attire. So it's like, this is the uniform, so to speak. The way you dress, the way you carry yourself, the way your vehicle looks, the way you approach the day. Every single day, this is the perfect day, and we build this whole thing out.
How you get out of the car? Do you get out of the car with a mad face or a smiley face?
And I think the best way I ever put it, or the best way I ever heard it, in layman's terms, was it is the Bible for the way. Like, if you don't know how to do something, you can always look back at an SOP, and it will give you guidelines of how you can do it.
Yeah.
It's a reference guide.
Yeah, it is literally a reference
and it doesn't
guide.
need.
If you have a question of, hey, like how should I conduct a roof inspection? An SOP, if you go back into your SOPs, it should tell you this is how standard.
Absolutely.
By standard, this is how you conduct a roof inspection.
And it has to be alive. About this, other than the military background, but this is stuff people do not think about. I promise you, this is stuff no one talks about.
Oh, dude, I know. It's because, like I said,
and it has to be a live document. You got to be upgrading that document.
Can always change. Put it on a Google Doc, man, and change it over time, because you're gonna run into problems that were unforeseen. Like,
well, it should be
Problems
shared.
are fucking good.
Yeah,
because
it should
now
be
it's an
shared.
opportunity to change. Absolutely.
Yeah, it should be shared, is because, like I said, whenever you have new people that come in, hey, how do I conduct an attic inspection? You'd be amazed by the amount of roofers that don't know how to conduct an attic inspection. If you're filing a claim, right, for a homeowner, you need to conduct an attic inspection. You don't conduct an attic inspection, you're gonna be amazed the amount of roofers that don't know how to do that, right?
Yeah.
You need standard operations procedures, is because people don't really think they don't realize you need to walk on structural boards. You can't just walk on the sheetrock.
No.
Your foot will fall through it, you know?
Yeah.
These are great things to talk to customers about. Like, these are things that set you apart that you're obviously aware of. You know what I mean?
You probably shouldn't do it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in the middle of June. You know why? Because the attic's probably 135 degrees.
1,000 degrees. Yeah. So
you'll probably pass out.
You're gonna faint. Yeah.
We live in a major city with lots and lots and lots of competition in any small trade. So every little thing that sets you apart is something you should add to your website, add to your social media posts. SOPs are what sets you apart, because people don't do it.
Yeah.
And it's the number one thing you need to scale.
And you can make your standards better than other people's standards. That's why it's a live document.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, you saying that. So we met yesterday. We were going over the refinements of the website. We're still working on that. It's in maintenance. And I was telling them, for our slogan, for our motto, I want it to be about standard, setting a new standard for the industry. Because we were talking to Gabriel, and me and him kind of looked at each other, and we were like, we want to set a new standard within the industry. We want to build that trust back with the client, with the homeowners, with the business owners, with the insurance agents, right? We don't want any more of these gimmicks, right? Where contractors are requesting supplements for $250,000 on a 40 square roof. Like, what?
Yeah.
There's no 40 square roof that costs $250,000. You're basically just committing fraud at that point, right?
So there's a lot of that out there.
There is, especially in coastal areas where, you have
it depends on the materials.
Relief.
Depends on the materials, of course.
$250,000, no way.
Well, but
what
I'm saying is like, also, if you can sell for that price, right? And then it means that you're a good salesperson. So,
if you can a 40 square roof, I'm just saying, like, shingle metal, like, there's no way it's gonna be $250,000.
Yeah.
No way.
But what I'm
I
saying,
get what you're saying, though. Yeah, like on the product, the quality of your product, your you know, depending on if it's like a custom, you know, the material type, like, yeah, 100%, it can get up in price tag, right? But $250,000 for a 40 square roof is non-existent.
Someone else paying 170, 140, and this person's paying 250 because they probably didn't shop it, or somebody sold them really well. You know, a lot of that does exist out there. So people overpay for things every day.
I guess that's where we want to be different. Is we want to be fair, and we want it to be
transparency.
Yes,
transparency. Yeah.
But
to both sides, though, to the insurance agency that we are filing with for the client, and then the client that we are representing. Yeah.
So do y'all represent that in like the way you write estimates and things? Like everything's open and itemized.
Yeah, just like, so who we got that from was actually Hilton.
There you go.
Interestingly enough, Hilton.
From Dylan.
Where did you get it from, Hilton?
Okay, from Dylan.
Hilton already was that way, though. You didn't get that.
Yeah, I never did anything generic.
That,
we just spread that.
I respected when I first walked in here. I met with Hilton through the old company that I was with. Hilton was like, yeah, man, like our estimate is like completely broke down.
Yep.
It shows you line by line like what we're charging you for.
We do.
And yeah, that's about it. And it's like, dang, dude, I appreciate that.
There's power behind that. And the truth is, like, if I'm a couple $1,000s more than someone else, and you come back to me with their quote, I will more than likely match their quote. It just depends on a lot of things. But because we have broken things down so much, I can very easily tell my customer, I'm at $20,000.
Yeah.
They're at 18. I included the prep. I included a breakdown of my costs for
I
demo
included
this
taxes.
stuff. I included taxes. I included this. You look at their quote, they said material is this amount, labor is this amount. Nothing's broken down. You have no idea what's what. So it all of those things depend. And a lot of the times, so there's a really good example of this that I'm sure Hilton remembers a little better than me. An example where someone came back to us and was like, y'all are way more expensive. I need a discount. And we were like, okay. The customer out in the Georgetown area with a really cool staircase project.
We had a $31,000 quote, and she had a $28,000 quote. So like, I'll match it, but can you send me their quote? And so she sends it, and then we print it out, and then I marked on our quote everything that was included on their quote.
She actually came here in person.
Yeah, and then I kind of marked it out like I was like, these 1,400 that they do not have, I have. These 1,700 that they don't have, I have. All these two things that I have on the quote, it's saying over here on the observations, like these will only be assessed at the time of the install.
Yeah.
And then they don't even put a price on that. Mm-hmm. We had the same saying, but putting a price and how much it would be from such to such. But we have already included that on the quote as well.
Yeah.
As an average price. So, and then so like, okay. And by the way, I included taxes and they didn't. So we were actually $500 cheaper.
Yeah, she's like, I'll take out everything from my quote that's not in their quote to make it more apples to apples. And still have tax included, which they don't have, which means it's not that you're not going to pay tax. You will pay tax. They didn't include it in your original estimate, which is a trick that people use a lot to make it seem like the total bill is lower.
Because it's 8%.
8% of what?
That's
so you have a $10,000 job, it's another $800, almost another $1,000 that you're tacking on the back end. So we don't do those sorts of things.
Imagine you are giving 5% discount for veterans. You know, we had 8%. Included on our quote that the other company did not have.
In just taxes.
8%.
So
8.25.
We didn't even take the tax out. We just took the other things that apples to apples they didn't have, and we were $500 cheaper than them. And she goes, oh. I'm like, so if you want, I can match their price. But if I match their price, you're actually going to pay more because they're charging you more for things. They don't have this stuff included. She's like, no. And we sold it.
Let's go with you. Okay.
There are times where I've lost jobs before by being too transparent and showing numbers, and they don't come back to me and ask questions, and they go to someone else and they think they're getting a better deal. So there's a caveat to it. Like, there's a plus and a minus. I just think in terms of being ethical and being transparent, if it were me, that's what I always try and think of. Like, put yourself in the person's shoes that's buying. You'd want to know that information. And I'm trying to work with you. If I do end up being hired, come back to me. And I hope through the whole process and getting to know me and my willingness to work with you, you want to work with me. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You can't force anything. But more often than not, we get those sales because people, a lot of other companies, it feels like they're hiding stuff, even if they're not. It's just the way you write it up feels deceptive.
Yeah.
And that reads poorly as a consumer, as a customer buying something. No one wants to feel like they're being deceived.
I think what a lot of it right now, in particular, is the economy. So we just did a commercial bid not too long ago, and it was like for a residential converting to a commercial space. And they had a budget of $250,000. And we go in there, they lay out everything that they want. They had architectural plans and everything. They weren't engineered, they were architectural, right?
Okay.
So they're not engineered, so not everything per scope is gonna fit within the confines of that architectural plan, right?
Yeah, and you gotta
you
fit
need it
code.
engineered, right? So we go in there and right off the rip, because Danny, he has more experience in construction than I do. I have more roofing experience than he does by a few months, but still, he has more construction experience. He looks at it and he's like, dude, this is gonna be way more than $250,000. I was like, all right, let's talk to some professionals and we'll see what they say. And I get a hold of an engineer and we start talking about, we start bringing in electricians, HVAC, plumbing, right, excavation team, and I mean we sat down with the clients and we're like, look, like $250,000, like there's no way. From what's on your architectural plans, there's no way. $250,000, no. But what we can do is we can make it within the confines of your budget. Like if you do want to upgrade this to where it is a functional commercial space and the LCRA will let you actually be a functional coffee shop, cool. Yeah,
it's just not exactly what you would plan.
Yeah, it's not going to be exactly what's on the architectural plans. And they said, no, we believe that we can achieve these plans with $250,000.
Okay.
And I mean, all of it came out to like $550,000.
Gosh, you're not talking from 270 to 250. You're talking about
you're
doubling
talking a
their
substantial
budget.
amount, and that's the thing is people aren't aware that in this economy, right? It's not like that. Think from 2020. I mean, labor and materials. I mean, it's increased between 28 to 38%.
Well, let me tell you this. In 2019, I would do a staircase for 2,000, and this is covering the staircase. By the way, we are in the covering.
Turnkey.
We are covering industry. We are not
building out a staircase.
Building out a staircase. No.
I'm taking a staircase and putting wood on it. Covering it with wood.
Yeah.
Yep.
So materials, labor, and everything, I was able to do it for 2,100.
Unbelievable.
These days,
5,000.
Just the nosings would cost you around 1,500 to 2,000.
Crazy.
Yep.
Just the trim.
Yeah.
Not even the setting materials or the flooring itself is going to cover it.
Something that doesn't get talked about enough, in my opinion, during COVID was
And
more
that's
of
6 years.
the infrastructure problem that was faced.
Yes.
So even though labor and things were more balanced at that time, there were items where it's you need to order this 4 months out to make sure it's going to be here. And so because of that, the backlog problems, they started raising prices to expedite and get things here. So I saw in the flooring industry in particular an insane increase in price of product from 2019 to 2021. And then there was a huge plateau and even drop off. They started reducing prices for the first time in a long time in 2022.
Yep.
And I mean, that's kind of what we're seeing a little bit right now, at least from what we've seen. Right, is a little bit of a plateau, kind of drop in prices. It's not substantial,
No.
but they're dropping a little bit, but it's still raised.
But
since
labor
the
has
past
never
4
labor
years.
never goes down.
No.
Labor goes up, plateaus, goes up, plateaus. Right now, I'm experiencing more of a plateau than I'm experiencing a going up. But we
I agree.
experienced a big uprise from 2022 to 2025, where almost 50 cents. Things I used to charge $2 for or $2.50. Things that are $2.50 or $3, and I get people asking me about it all the time. Look. Again, if you can find somebody that's charging something else, and it's not a guy running out of his truck, it's a brick and mortar store, to earn your business, I'll match it. Does that mean that's the price I want to sell it? Of course not, but I will match it. And then we got to start internalizing and figuring out if other people are doing it at this price, maybe we need to audit internally how we're doing things. And I talked to my sales team for installation. He goes, Dylan, prices never go down. They might stay the same. They go up. You're never going to come to me and be like, you used to pay me $250. You're not going to pay me $225. And I understand that. And we've kind of pivoted who we're targeting at this point, too. Is I'm not looking for, in this realm of marketing. Like, if someone that just bought a house and I've got a really limited budget and I have money to spend, can I serve you? Absolutely, I can. It's just not going to be the same sort of product that people are using on the day in and day out. The people that are calling you to do a $250,000 renovation are not asking you to put in crap. You know? Their mind is
Not
like,
some
I'm going to get
freaking-
something brand new. It looks great, and I think I can do it for $250. And you have to be the hard reality check. It's like, the day and age we live in now, it's like, I can do something for you for $300, and it's going to be nowhere near what you wanted. I can do exactly what you want. It's going to be $550. Like,
Yeah.
$550. Now is at $250. Like, the numbers don't make sense for people. So educating your customers becomes just as important, you know, as giving prices, so that they understand why prices are what they are.
Well, yeah, and I agree with that, and I also have experienced that people don't understand the business aspect of it either.
Not really.
So they see it as like, what's this overhead and profit that you're charging? Why are you charging me for that? And some people include it in their line items, which you can do that. Totally fine.
Yeah.
But
I was gonna say, because it's actually important on a general contracting contract, is like some 10% overhead, just in case it's needed, because normally, you know, it will go over a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
we
then
all
also,
watch-
but you also have like, people don't realize that what the cool thing about general contracting is that you're not having to coordinate all the work that's needed, right? Like, if you were to go getting your fence done, right? I don't ever really recommend anybody to hire a general contractor to do a fence. You can go find somebody to do
Find
a
a fence guy,
from Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you're talking about like a medium, large scale remodel, you're gonna need a general contractor, because you're not gonna want to talk to 20 different people for your remodel. You're gonna want to talk to one guy who holds all the liability, who has the insurance, and has vetted all the contractors.
Vetted the contract, so
Yeah.
nobody's gonna run away with your money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Somebody who has all that in their pocket. You are paying them for coordinating the work and for the value that they're holding the
For
liability
the quality
and
and
the insurance.
security of that being done.
But people don't realize that's what general contractors bring to the table when it comes to a remodel. And so they sit there and they're like, why is this so expensive for, a kitchen remodel? And it's like, well, you got to think about it. Like, think about
How many trades you get in for a kitchen remodel?
Dude, a lot.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
lot.
So you got a tile,
lot.
so you got a covering person,
Yep.
and then you got a cabinet person, you
Yep.
got a countertop person, you got an electrician,
Yeah.
right? You got a plumber in.
Yeah.
So that's 4,
Yeah.
minimum. And then you got a painter.
Yeah.
That's 5, because you're gonna have to paint the
Potentially
walls.
structural, because if you're going to
Potentially,
be busting down walls,
yeah.
opening up spaces,
Yeah, and put a beam across or
Yeah.
whatever, to open up a
an
kitchen.
engineer,
Yeah.
maybe a designer, because you're not just going to want to freaking wing the design of your whole entire kitchen,
Yeah.
unless you get a unicorn where like the client is like somehow an interior designer, or
That's
somehow
what I'm saying. Like, myself in my house, can I do a kitchen, without a general contractor? Yes, I can. Right?
Yeah.
Did I do it? Because I know everybody in the trades, right? So and I know who are trustworthy and who are not, right?
Yeah.
Did I do it in my house? No, I hired a general contractor.
Yeah, you
to
don't
do
want
my house.
You don't want to handle like 6-7 people having to pay out checks to like 8-9 different people, pay for material, make sure it shows up, hold the liability, be accountable for all these people to show up. Someone doesn't show up, oh, now I got to fire this guy, I got to find another one. Like, you don't want to be responsible for that.
Yeah,
It's your
exactly.
house, you got other shit to do. Like, you don't want no part of that. General contractors, they're the ones that handle it. You have one, and someone painted it beautifully for me. They were like, man, every time, my wife, she wanted us to do a bathroom remodel. And, I was talking to like 3 different people, and he's like, man, like, I just want to talk to one motherfucker, man. And that's it. That's who I want to talk to. One guy. I want to pay one guy, and that is it. And I was like, yeah, well, we can do that. We're a general contractor. We can do that.
But
that's perfect. That's exactly what it is.
That's exactly what it is. So, for example, it's a weird example, but like a person that cuts a hair, he gets somebody else to cut the hair. for his hair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even like when you're doing your own house, maybe a good idea and to just hire, even though you are a general contractor, right? So because you have vetted interest in. So, for example, we did the flooring for a friend of mine actually, and she is actually a project manager for a builder. So her house caught fire, so she got insurance, blah blah blah, and all the shebang, and she had to redo the whole house. She hired a general contractor, and then even though she is a general contractor, she's a project. She runs the project, so she's the one that talks to all the subcontractors, right?
Yeah, she
for
works
the
hand
customers.
in hand with the general contractor managing the projects. Yeah.
What she did is like, hey, I'm gonna bring my people in, but you're the one dealing with them. You know what I mean? So she hired a general contractor to oversee the project because she was
you
working.
Have no emotional connection with it.
Because of the emotional connection. So even when it's to do your own house, if it is just like one thing, so for example, if somebody's just doing paint and flooring, it's okay. You hire a painter, you hire a flooring guy.
Yeah.
But if you have to get more things done, you're better off, getting someone that will control
some people
everything.
aren't even confident enough in that. Like I've met people who have contacted us and they're like, hey, can you come out and look at this project? It's not done. We had this crew come up. They said they could do exterior outdoor living spaces. They could do like the plumbing, electrical, and we had to fire them because they were just messing things up. And we go out there and it's just shit show.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well,
it's gonna cost you more now.
Yeah. Well, like, what were you doing? Well, we hired like this guy. He was supposed to do the plumbing, and then we hired this guy. He was supposed to do the electrical, and then like this guy was supposed to like do like the masonry and install like the outdoor cabinets and so on and so forth. And it's like, man, like, like why? Yeah, general contractors like they're useful tool. Yeah, but it's that fine line, and like people just don't understand that. And then whenever they look at our quotes, they're like, "Why are you so expensive? For a remodel, why are you charging me overhead? You should already have that factored in. Why are you charging me profit? You should already have me in." And going back to the transparency and our quote items, that is line item true. That is like line item charge.
Yeah.
That is what I'm being charged. I'm showing you this is everything we're being charged. This is my profit charge, and this is the overhead, right? And I think that showing transparency, like what Dylan was saying, is sometimes like, yeah, you'll lose some and you'll win some, based off people who have that idea of my priorities are more about the cost effectiveness.
A lot of people
quality.
don't appreciate that. But hey, why you're charging $3.50 to install a floor? And I talked the other day with a flooring person just to check on your price, and then they charge $2.50. And then they go like, well, because $1 is my profit. It's my upcharge for taking care of that for you. Oh, but I can just hire them directly. Well, in that case, you have to hire everybody directly then.
Yeah.
Because then you don't need me.
Yeah. And
then they go like, well, and then they might start on that route, and then they call you, hey, it's not working out. The floor was done in a different order. You know what I mean? It should have done the plumbing first, or things like that. Yeah. Simple things. Yeah. Just because, hey, there is an order for the things.
There is an order.
That is SOP.
You send them what the quote is like and what's going to cost, but you don't send them the order that's going to happen, right? So because then you're giving too much away, from your business, right? And then they think that they can do it themselves, and then they got
shoot for it.
Yeah.
Let's see how far you get.
That is definitely like in that scenario where they went ahead and hired all their contractors, and then it didn't end up working right. It's like that's you're experiencing that scheduling conflict, and that's where you're losing that money, is that coordination, the project management aspect.
I find people they have such a problem with leaving a day where there's nothing being done. So let's say you have floors getting done, cabinets, paint, all these things, and they refuse to leave a buffer. Or they go like the worst thing in the world for them is a day where nothing's happening. You're going to end up with a lot more days with nothing happening when things get messed up in the schedule. You're not losing a day or two, you lose a week. So fit into the schedule a couple days buffer where nothing's getting done, and use those days as cleanup days. Use those days. That's how, if I was doing full GC work from beginning to end, that's how I would do it. Leave buffer days and use those days to do other things that aren't getting done, because inevitably we're dealing with humans. People that say they're going to be a place on time and then they don't. And that day gets wasted. So,
or any problem that could happen, right?
Somebody as a homeowner, though, that drives them nuts because they don't do this for a living. That's what I experience month in, month out. And I run a crew that I love to say is on time and never any problems, but the reality of people is things pop up. Someone has a flat tire, someone's kid, they got to go and do whatever. Things happen. You have to proactively plan for things to not go perfect day 1 to day 4, and then now I'm a hero. I told you it's going to take 4, and it took 2.5. It took 3. I don't want to tell you it's going to take 2, and it takes 4, you know?
Yeah.
Or even if like
experience.
something in the job itself that could happen. So let's say a plumber is moving a toilet from one place to another. So it has to cut through the slab, right, to be able to extend the pipe, right? And then they find the rebars, like, hey, I'm going to have to dig it deep in here and then get it lower or get it on top or something like that, right? So it's something that pops up during the job that is going to slow down a little bit for that item to be completed. So, yeah, those buffer days are really important.
It's like the way you, like, present something, too. Like,
yeah, you got to communicate.
If
like,
things
hey,
were perfect, it'll go like this. But if I tear your floor up and I find inconsistencies in your concrete, I find water damage under your walls, like, obviously that's going to change the scope of the project in terms of cost and in terms of timeline. So when you're a finishing type trade, I don't know what's there until I pull it up.
Yeah.
I can guess, and I have a very good educated guess from experience, but things pop up. We all watch HGTV.
Yeah, and I think that's where like your exclusions come in at a high level right there.
Yeah.
Like you really have to pay attention to your exclusions, is because then you're walking in a gray area. You're walking in a gray area of liability.
If you're not clearly laying out the things you don't do.
Exactly.
I don't touch
what's
this.
not included in your quote.
These are the things I'm pricing, and clearly stated, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. That is all I'm doing.
Yeah.
Does not include this. That's a lot more intense for y'all than it would be for... I'm doing the scope of work for flooring, and I do have exclusions where I do have to clearly state that it doesn't include this. When you talk about rework on an entire house, you're doing drywall, you're doing paint.
Exactly.
I mean, it
so
gets
much,
kind of lost in those estimates from people, because you'll spend the time putting that on there. Do people read it? A lot of the times they don't.
They don't, yeah.
No, but that's for the GC to handle.
Doesn't that drive you nuts a little bit?
Yes.
Where it's like, man, I've spent so much time laying it out so you would fully understand what I'm saying. And then you ask me a question that's like line item number 2. It's like you just don't even read the quote. And that's part of our job, is like, okay.
I bet that's awesome when y'all don't have to deal with that shit.
I still do a little bit, you know.
Even when you're working with a GC, you deal with it? Really?
I promise you, because people don't read.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, no.
And then you work it out on the job, they figure it out, and they go, okay. But it's... more of that to me is like relationship building. Like if you're working with this GC for enough time, they know what you do and what you don't do. It's like the first job, the second job, where it's like little miscommunication things. Well, I didn't see that in your quote. Did you read it? Well, I mean, I thought I read it. Read it again. I promise you it's in there, you know? But those aren't the type of conversations I have with people a lot. It's like, all right, Paul, I'll do it, you know? And Paul's a made-up name. I don't work with anybody named Paul. Yeah. I'll do it, but... read the quote, man. You know, like, I'm not doing it for free either. I'll do it. It's going to cost this amount. But everything I included was this. And they go, okay. Can you just do it? And it depends. Like, if it's the right, all right, I'll do it. You know, you got to take a little bend with things. But that's the discretionary part of business ownership, is deciding, like, what is worth it, what's not worth it. And sometimes you make the wrong decision. You think it's worth it, and it's not.
Yeah.
You're replacing a roof, and then there is an area that is unaccessible, right, from the attic. So you cannot say that the deck over there is, good or it's all right, right? And then when you pull the roof out and then say, oh, there's a soft spot in here that we have to replace quite a bit. And then, the deck also has to be replaced. So it becomes a little bit of a structure. Yeah. And then, hey, this is unforeseen things. And that's why I have the line item in there. Mm-hmm. But,
Yeah, and I think what's very surgical about roofing, especially whenever you're dipping into the insurance portion, is you can start to classify your scope based off of what the insurance says. So whenever you have an insurance estimate come in and it's like, oh yeah, we'll replace your roof, like that's your roof. Because they break it down per portion. It's not like they include soffit, fascia, siding. Like, no, they have roof.
Generic.
Yeah, that's your roof. That's one section. Siding, next section, right? And so like you don't. If you have a roofer, it's like, oh yeah, like we'll do your roof for X amount. They do your roof. Oh well, what about my siding? What about my soffit? Okay, well,
I said your roof.
Next, yep, I said your roof. Next, right? And so like whenever you go through the insurance process. Like, I think that's, like, the benefactor is that why we like to work with the insurance is because they already technically break it down for you already.
That is true. So I have a fraternity brother. He's got a ranch house out in Ranger, and his house flooded, and I'm replacing his flooring. We won't do the labor because it's too far, but I'll sell him the material. And he sends me the stuff. I'm like, man, I'm breaking this stuff down. They've given you a price for the flooring and the labor for the flooring, and that's its own separate thing. There's a separate price for baseboards and trim. That's its own thing. There's a price for... The number that they gave you doesn't even include like prep work. It's specifically.
Yep.
That's your vinyl plank flooring and the installation of your vinyl plank flooring.
Yep.
And it's a completely separate. They're also giving you money for the other stuff, but that's in a different section of the quote. And you got to find it all and piece it all together. So if you don't speak the language of insurance,
they don't include it, and then they want the contractor or you yourself to supplement for it. That's the asking portion. Is whenever you ask for it, and then when you ask for it, you have to be very specific. How much are you asking for, measurement-wise, right?
That's where y'all come into play. That's advantage because a lot of people do not speak the language of insurance, and you like it, we like it, I do like it because what you just said, everything is itemized by room, by area, but it's so particular.
Yeah.
But an average homeowner reads that and gets overwhelmed. They don't know
100%.
What any of it means, and then they hire you, and you're like, well, they're giving you this, and this, but they're not giving you this. You're like, well, what are you talking about? I thought it was all going to get done. Like, it is, but it's not.
Yes.
So I'm going to have to go ask them for this, and if they're not going to get... So people don't know that because people aren't dealing with water damage every day.
Yes.
So
and then like another thing too, like famous companies, Allstate, for example.
Yeah.
Something that they do is and you know what? I won't even say that this is 100% necessarily, I guess, true as in regards to like me finding evidence for it, but this is my gut feeling is they purposefully like underbid certain like aspects of the estimate. For example, like we have a homeowner who has, he has like 3 leak spots in his house, right? From his roof. So we replace his roof, bam, stop the leak. There's no more leakage, right? Okay, now we just gotta deal with the interior. We gotta replace the sheetrock or just apply some Kills primer and then retexture, repaint, or just repaint, right? And
cosmetic fixing of what the leak caused.
Exactly, right? And the homeowner's like, well, there was leakage near my circuit box, and I want that checked, right? Well, whenever you go to the line items for his interior work, it's $300. They paid him only $300 for maybe I'd probably say like 150 to 200 square feet of sheetrock. Yeah. And to check electrical, $300. No way.
Yeah, just to get the licensed guy over there is going to cost at least $1,000.
Yeah,
they need multiple people to submit invoices back, to audit that. Obviously, $300 not going to get it done.
And so whenever you submit to Allstate an invoice, this is all the work that's going to need to be done for the interior. This is how much it's going to cost. Then they'll come back to you and say, oh, well, we can't approve supplements because of how you wrote this invoice. We need specific measurements. We need everything that was approved, wasn't approved, how much the difference of cost it's going to be.
Yep.
And that way you can then you can submit it to us and the difference of what the homeowner's wanting.
So there are some companies that only deal with insurance work, And
Yeah.
that's how they write everything. Is like, so I measured this one room. This is your square footage of the floor. This is your footage of the walls. This is what you gave. This is what I'm breaking down. And that's why they end
they
up
get
getting
paid
those
more.
bids.
They get paid
Because
more.
people don't do that type of work. So
Yeah.
if you can differentiate, if you can speak that language and you can make that work, you will end up getting jobs specifically because other people don't. I need to got him.
You guys can keep going.
Yeah, I'm down to keep going if y'all want to.
Yeah, that's perfectly
I don't
fine.
give a
gotta
shit.
head out.
Okay. Well, ideally, we should wrap up. We've been for 1 hour. An hour and 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Well,
Yeah,
shit,
it's up
guys.
to y'all.
Thank y'all for joining us.
I really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
We'll probably want to get you both back on at some point with the main crew, George and Conrad, in here on a Wednesday night. Traditionally, it's a different vibe.
Yeah,
It's,
I bet. I'm gonna schedule the 29th. Right, the 29th, right?
We'll get you back on the 29th, and we can
Yeah.
talk about anything you want to talk about. But
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you guys again for coming. Where can people find you?
So yeah, that's the sucky part. Right now we're mainly word of mouth. Our website and our social medias are currently in the making right now.
Okay.
So by the 29th though, we should be able to shout out our social medias and our website, and there should be something to look at.
We'll be on the fucking lookout then. These guys
For
are up
real.
and coming. They're the real deal.
Up-and-comers.
Up and coming.
The real deal.
Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you guys.
Please leave a like,
Comment and subscribe.
and we will see you all next time.
Thank you. Bye.